From the high seas to the busiest port, the marine industry is a world of adventure, innovation, and entertainment. Hello, and you're welcome to another interesting episode of your program, NIMASA This Week, where we help you stay ahead of the curve in this fast and dynamic industry. I remain your anchor, Moyoluwa Olutayo. It's time to set sail with us. Are you ready? I'll be right back.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are NIMASA. New face, rejuvenated service. NIMASA, changing the tides in your favor.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, on Wednesday, 19th March 2025, played host to a team from the Nigerian Army Intelligence School, NAIS, Tego Barracks, Apapa, for a training visit and tour of NIMASA's C4i surveillance facility as part of the school's training activities. The team, comprising of 120 students and 15 instructors, had an interactive session with the delegate from NIMASA at the Nigerian Maritime Resource and Development Center, Kirikiri, where they were exposed to the roles, duties, and activities of NIMASA and maritime security in Nigeria. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
As part of efforts to enhance collaboration, communication, and intelligence gathering for securing Nigeria's waterways, the Nigerian Army Intelligence School conducted a study visit to the facilities of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency at the Nigerian Maritime Resource Development Center in Kirikiri, Lagos. Receiving the students, NIMASA's Director General, Dr. Dayo Moberiola, emphasized the importance of collaboration between the agency and the armed forces, noting that such partnerships have significantly reduced criminal activities on Nigeria's waterways. Represented by the head of Maritime Safety and Seafarer Standards Department, Engineer Patrick Eigbe, Dr. Moberiola reaffirmed NIMASA's commitment to continued partnership with the Nigerian Army, stressing that collaboration remains key to achieving the agency's mandate.
Today's visit is more than just a tour. It is a unique opportunity to engage with the heart of Nigerian maritime security infrastructure. As you know, our maritime domain is vital to the national economic prosperity, safety, and security. It is a domain that demands constant vigilance, innovation, and collaboration across all sectors of security apparatus. During your visit today, you will gain first-hand insight into the vital roles that NIMASA plays in maritime safety and security. You will learn about our extensive surveillance operations, our efforts to combat piracy and other maritime crimes, and our partnership with other security agencies to maintain peace in the Gulf of Guinea.
In his remarks, the leader of the delegation, Major K.K. Hamzat, expressed gratitude to the agency's management for hosting the students, noting that the visit will strengthen the capacity of the Nigerian Army Intelligence School students. The students participated in a series of lectures covering NIMASA's responsibilities, including maritime safety, an overview of the C4i Centre of the Deep Blue Project, and the International Ship and Port Facility Security Code. The highlight of the visit was a tour of NIMASA's facilities, showcasing the agency's operations and technological advancements.
We are here purposely to continue to foster the collaboration, as this is not the first time we are visiting this institution. So we intend to explore the mutual understanding between our school and your agency, considering the vision and the command philosophy of our Chief of Army Staff, which is to foster collaboration with other security agencies in a joint environment. Based on this premise, it is important for us as an institution to continue to engage other security agencies, to explore mutual understanding between us and the agencies, to equally explore what knowledge base we can tap from your agency, considering the threat that we are battling with in the national security.
The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Dr. Dayo Muberiola, has received a report from the United States Coast Guard stating that Nigeria's compliance with the International Ship and Port Facility Security Code ranks amongst the highest globally. The leader of the United States Coast Guard delegation, Joe Prince Larson, disclosed this after a week-long visit to several Nigerian ports and terminals, including Dangote Port, Lekki Free Trade Zone, and private facilities in Warri. Elated by the positive feedback, Dr. Muberiola expressed optimism that Nigeria will continue to enhance port security by upholding high international standards.
I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the U.S. Coast Guard for the collaboration with NIMASA in conducting this reciprocal peer review visit. At NIMASA, we are committed to ensuring the security of our maritime domain and compliance with international procedures and conventions. Your expertise and guidance is invaluable to us, and we are grateful for the opportunity to learn from you. We also hope that we have gained valuable insight from this exercise.
Earlier in his remarks, Joe Prince Larson, who led the United States Coast Guard team, commended Nigeria and NIMASA for significant progress in implementing the ISPS code. Larson praised Nigeria's clear understanding and strong compliance with the code, aligning the country with leading maritime nations. He assured that his team would report their findings to the leadership of the U.S. Coast Guard and expressed confidence in NIMASA's capacity to maintain the high standards achieved so far.
To our visit, we had the pleasure of visiting Matrix and Julius Berger in Warri, and then continuing on to Lekki Deep Sea Port, Lekki Terminal, and Dangote Terminal. I'm very pleased to report that our findings were quite positive. We are seeing evidence of a strong and deep understanding of the ISPS code and the implementation of the ISPS code. We are taking back several notes for best practices, and I wanted to include that the ISPS team's quarterly visits of the facilities is above and beyond almost anything we see anywhere in the world.
The collaboration between Nigeria and the U.S. Coast Guard is part of a 3-year plan to lift the condition of entry on vessels departing Nigeria for the United States, while ensuring both nations benefit from enhanced maritime security. Notably, Nigeria's ports continue to set a global example, with security and compliance fostering stronger international partnerships.
Still on the program, NIMASA this week, and you're welcome to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals segment, where Femi is already waiting with our guests for today, Juliet Amwe Braide, a senior shift supervisor with the C4i Centre of NIMASA. She's going to explain to us the 9th Sustainable Development Goal, which is focused on industry, innovation, and infrastructure. I'll be right back.
The maritime sector plays a very crucial role in the actualization of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And that is why on this edition we'll be discussing the various SDG and the contribution of the maritime sector to achieving this SDG in Nigeria. Today, we're talking about SDG 9, talking about industry, innovation, and infrastructure, and how NIMASA has been able to plug into this SDG. My guest is Juliet Braide. She is a senior shift supervisor in the C4i unit of NIMASA. Juliet, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Juliet, today we'll be talking about SDGs, and we'll be talking about the various SDGs and how the maritime sector specifically, because every sector has a role to play in actualizing the SDG. But for the purpose of this segment, we are discussing the maritime sector's contribution to SDGs. And now on SDG 9, can you exactly tell us why SDGs?
Okay, so thank you for the question. The SDG goals came about due to a recognition that there is a gap to achieving peace and prosperity for the people and the planet in the now and into the future. So in September 2015, the member states of the United Nations, which Nigeria is a party to, agreed to have a unified blueprint that will help them to achieve this goal of peace and prosperity for the people, the planet, in the now and into the future.
All right, thank you very much. So now coming to our today's segment, SDG 9, infrastructure, innovation, and industry, right?
That's correct.
So now, how has NIMASA been able to, match this particular SDG, to fit into the maritime sector, still in line with the SDGs?
So NIMASA indeed has aligned itself to try to attain these SDGs, and particularly since we're discussing the SDG 9, which is on innovation, industry, and infrastructure. For instance, we have the Lekki Deep Sea Port, which is an infrastructure that is going to help large vessels that normally would not be able to berth in our waterways. But now we are able to take these vessels, and it helps to boost our economy. For innovation, we have the Deep Blue project of Nigeria. So the Deep Blue project utilizes computers, artificial intelligence, and there are assets such as UAVs, air asset that includes aircraft, helicopters that are being used to help fight piracy and maritime insecurity in general in our waterways. So that is one key role that NIMASA is playing in bringing about attainment to the SDG goals. All
right, thank you. So talking about this innovation now, I know NIMASA has this C4i Centre.
That's
we
correct.
have the GMDSS system, right? Now, how has NIMASA been able to use these tools also, to ensure safety and security in our waterways, still in line with the SDG? Remember, the SDG still, harps on sustainability. So whatever NIMASA is doing must, be around sustainable, development. So tell me, what is NIMASA doing?
Thank you very much. So the GMDSS stands for Global Maritime Distress Safety System. And the C4i system stands for the Command, Control, Communications, Computer and Intelligence System. These two are championing safety and security in the maritime sector. And you would agree with me that with a safer and secure water, there are benefits that include things like reduction in the loss of life at sea, reduction in loss of properties and assets, and as well as reduction in economic losses that normally would have existed due to piracy, oil theft, illegal fishing, and other illegalities in our waterways. So you can see that these two major projects of NIMASA are helping to create an enabling business environment in Nigeria, as well as to promote investors, foreign investors coming into the country to help boost our economy.
All right, very good. Very quickly, before I ask you the last question, let me ask you this. Talking about these SDGs now, take a clue at the number of the populace in Nigeria. I think we're over 200 million or thereabouts. Do you think people understand what this SDG is all about?
That's a very good question. I don't have exact figures, but if I'm to walk into any street in Lagos today and ask a number of people what the SDG means, I believe that a good number of them will have no idea what I'm talking about. But at the same time, these persons have an understanding of the basic rules or basic needs that are already embedded in the SDG goals. So, and in fact, they go as far as request for this needs to be met by the government and people in authority. So this goes to tell you that if you want to reach the layman and the rural areas, you need to speak a language that they do understand. So, for instance, you tell them cleaner waters, they would understand cleaner waters because they need cleaner waters. You tell them no hunger, no poverty, they would understand that because those are very key to their needs. So it's more of a terminology thing, but people are very much aware of what the SDG goals are.
Thank you, Juliet. Now, tell us, in a few years from now, you said SDG started in sometimes in September
2015.
December 2015, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and now, I guess another 5 years from now, September maybe 2030, right? This SDG may become obsolete, right? Or would be over, right? Now, what do you think should happen or will happen after these SDGs are gone?
Femi, I believe that the SDG goals would not end. Rather, there will be more of a building block to improved version of goals that will be needed or that will be more appropriate for the current trends or current needs as at that time. You remember that before we had the SDG goals, we have the Millennium Development Goals, right? And a number of those goals have been carried forward into the SDG goal. So it's not a start and stop scenario, it's a more of a continuous process that will continue for a long time.
Dear viewers, we've come to the end of this segment. We've been discussing industry, infrastructure and innovation, SDG 9, and how the maritime industry in Nigeria has been able to contribute to this segment. And then, of course, we heard from our guest. She said it all, that NIMASA through GMDSS, C4i and various infrastructure has been able to contribute its own quota to this SDG by making the maritime sector very, very environmental friendly and of course bringing in more investors to the economy. It's a wrap on this segment. My name is Femi Kumuyi. I remain your host.
Women International Shipping and Trading Association is a global association dedicated to promoting and assisting professional women in shipping and maritime. On Tuesday, 25th March 2025, WISTA Nigeria celebrated her 30th anniversary with a symposium themed Our Ocean, Our Obligation, Our Opportunities, Our Women. And the event was crowned with a gala night. Stay tuned on the program as we bring you clips from the event.
Women's International Shipping and Trading Association, WISTA Nigeria, recently held its 30th anniversary business luncheon and awards night in Lagos. The event brought together key figures in the Nigerian maritime industry. This year's theme was Our Oceans, Our Obligations, Our Opportunities, and Our Women. Dr. Odunwayo Ani, President of WISTA Nigeria, delivered a welcome address emphasizing the importance of empowering women in the maritime sector. She highlighted their critical role in shaping sustainable practices and fostering innovation.
What began as a vision has blossomed into a formidable force, empowering hundreds of professionals, inspiring young women to pursue careers in the industry, and fostering meaningful partnerships across national and international platforms. Over the years, we have witnessed remarkable milestones. We have actively participated in policy discussions on general inclusion. We have provided capacity building programs. We have mentored the next generation of female leaders, and we have supported rural and coastal women by providing fishing boats. Additionally, we have ensured that women have a seat at the table where key decisions are made. Today, we celebrate not only our past achievements, but also the boundless possibilities that lie ahead.
The Director General of NIMASA, Dr. Dayo Mobiriola, whose address was read by the agency's Executive Director of Operations, Engineer Fatai Adeyemi, commended WISTA for its dedication to promoting gender inclusion in the maritime industry. He acknowledged the association's efforts in advocating for sustainable practices and empowering women to take on leadership roles in the sector.
Our hustle, our opportunity, our obligation, and our women. The OSEN is Earth lifeblood, regulating climate, supporting biodiversity, and providing essential resources for life. According to the United Nations Environmental Program, OSEN offers 70% of the planet, produce more than half of the world oxygen, absorb vast amount of carbon dioxide, and influence weather pattern. The ocean house sees diverse marine ecosystem who rely on the deep sea trench, which sustain millions of species, including human.
Formed in 1974, the Women's International Shipping and Trading Association, WISTA International, is a global organization that connects female executives and decision makers worldwide. At this year's WISTA Nigeria Business Luncheon, other notable industry leaders who spoke at the event included Mr. Arsenio Dominguez, the Secretary General of the International Maritime Organization, LP Petraki, the President, WISTA International, Jemilat Mahama, WISTA International Secretary, Princess Moremi Ojudu, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Community Engagement, Southwest, Captain Emmanuel Ihanacho, Barrister Temisan Omasheye, Mr. Williams Buala, Rollins McFoy, Tosan Edodo Emore, among others. WISTA is an international networking organization whose mission is to attract and support women at the management level in the maritime, trading and logistics sectors. WISTA works towards professional development, gender diversity and inclusion, global networking, industry advocacy, education and awareness. Comrade Francis Bunu has emerged as the new President General of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria. He takes over from the immediate past President General, Comrade Adewale Adeyanju. The Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola CON, led dignitaries to witness the occasion.
Forward, forward, ever, backward, never, in the struggle for our men. Isoleto. It's Africa. Please sit down, everybody.
The welfare and the prospects of members of this association remains paramount to government and is at the center of the desire to reposition the sector as a contributor to national growth and development.
What I would say is that without the maritime workers, there is no maritime in Nigeria.
Join us next week for a detailed report.
Any vessel operating coastal voyage in Nigeria must mandatorily have on board the following: vessel logbook, vessel port of call, vessel particulars, which include registry certificates, safety equipment certificates such as safe manning certificates, builder's certificates, load line certificates, tonnage certificates, radio certificate, insurance certificates, classification certificates, passenger ship safety certificates, service certificates, cargo ship certificates, and waiver certificates or receipts. Vessel owners, captains, shipping agents, and members of the public are advised to note and comply.
It's been an interesting time on the program today, and I'm sure you enjoyed every bit of it. As we close the first quarter of the year, it's not just a milestone, but a time to reflect on our progress and to adjust our course. And we say, Barika de Salah to all our Muslim brothers and sisters Until we meet again on the same platform, same time next week, same station. Bye for now.